Good evening, Belize, and welcome to XTV's news broadcast for Thursday, October 17th, 2024. Making the headlines tonight, attorney for intended inquiry witnesses says it should be done away with. Elmer non-defense team securing forensic expert to enhance the video footage, and hearing for challenge of compulsory acquisition of State Bank extension set for December. We take our first break and return with the news in detail.
Here is how to be a part of betting.
Strive for laws that protect all of us and reflect our society at its best. Equal Opportunities Bill. Belize, we're ready.
Welcome back with your news. I am MarKeisha Young. Another public hearing of the Portico Senate inquiry was finally held on Wednesday after months of delays. However, it was merely to see two intended witnesses who are government officials issue statements, then walk off, refusing to take any questions. These were Senator Chris Coy and Cabinet Secretary Stuart Leslie. Both were represented by Senior Counsel Iman Courtney, who is the leader of government business. He returned to private practice but retains leadership over the handling of Belize's ICJ case. Today, he said his representation of the two men is not a conflict of interest.
I do not understand that there was any adversarial appearance yesterday. These two gentlemen were invited to appear before the Senate. They accepted the invitation, they attended, they gave their statements and indicated that they would not have any further evidence to give, and on the basis of my advice we left.
Sir, you have participated in a Senate hearing in 2017. You saw the parade of ministers that went through. Substantive questions were asked, led by you. Don't you think that these persons should also be fundamentally answerable for their public actions?
They are fundamentally answerable for their public actions. The issue that we have to pay attention to is what is being inquired into and whether there is any evidence, relevant evidence, that the Cabinet Secretary has to give and whether there is any relevant evidence that Mr. Coy has to give. If the Senate Select Committee believes that the position that they have taken is not the correct one, they know what to do. The position is, in my view, speaking for myself, I think that the inquiry needs to be brought to an end. It is costing tens of thousands of dollars, taxpayers' money, and it is on a frolic. Until Mr. Contreras goes before that Senate Select Committee, we are wasting public resources. That is my settled opinion, personally.
Isn't it though a slap in the face to the Belizean public to have these two individuals walk out of the Senate inquiry? You had Hugo Pat, who spent perhaps an hour or more just responding, I cannot recall. Isn't that at least what the public deserves?
Well, I think that's a charade. I think for you to bring somebody who says I won't answer a question and ask a person 10, 15, 20 questions so that the person simply says I'm not going to answer, I'm not going to answer, seems to me to be quite a charade. And there is no way that I would advise my clients to participate in that.
Sir, this matter of cabinet confidentiality, do you think that through the People's Constitution Commission that could be reversed?
It absolutely can be reversed if we think, and when I say we, I mean Belizean, if we think that that is an appropriate thing to
But it's not
be done.
listed in the...
CabSec Leslie relied on the principle of cabinet confidentiality to decline answering any questions.
I'm here at your invitation as a Cabinet Secretary, not in my personal capacity. As this committee is aware, documents and deliberations of the Cabinet are strictly confidential and exempt from disclosure. As Cabinet Secretary, I took an oath to uphold the laws and the Constitution of Belize, and I intend to be faithful to that oath. I have been advised that I am not at liberty to disclose any Cabinet documents or deliberation of Cabinet to this committee or otherwise. Respectfully, I am therefore not in a position to assist this committee with any evidence or documents.
Thank you very much. We note your opening statement. And yes, that is, once the light is on, you're live, so to speak. Before we begin with the senators asking their questions, would you like some water?
No,
okay. Colleagues, who would like to go first? You can indicate that you're declining to answer, but the committee...
I thought that was what my statement said.
Yes.
But yes, I am declining to answer questions.
Yes. So it is just for you to indicate that this is the basis for your decline. We just need to get it on record that we have asked and you have answered.
Hi, good morning, Cabinet Secretary. Thanks for coming. I just have a few questions that perhaps you could help me understand.
Madam Chairman, sorry to interrupt, Senator.
But I have advised.
Sorry, again, morning, Senator Courtney. I know you're here as an attorney, but again, as per protocol established by the SSC, only the witnesses to convey. So you can indicate that legal advice is advising you not to respond, but we would like to pose the questions for you. Sorry, can you put on your mic and then we just have you on record?
Sorry, I will not answer any questions.
Thank you.
CabSec, I note that you have said that you will not answer questions that are confidential. Could you assist us with questions of procedure?
Thereafter, Leslie walked out of the chamber. For his part, Senior Counsel Godfrey Smith, who is a former Attorney General, was not so sure that the principle can be overturned if it were the public's will. As to the Senate inquiry, he says he has to support such a mechanism.
First of all, let me be clear that I have to support the Senate, the ability of the Senate to have a special inquiry, because if I'm not mistaken, it is the government that I was a part of when I was Attorney General that amended the Constitution to allow for that to take place. I can only imagine we must have thought it a good thing, and I still think that it's a good power to have. I can't and won't comment on particular legal stances taken by any particular minister, because I haven't actually looked at the law in relation to ministers and cabinet secretary and those things. It may be that arguably if I was retained, I would have had to put forward legal arguments supporting their refusal or their decision not to. I don't know, because I haven't examined it. I don't know the law, but certainly I support the concept of Senate special inquiries into matters of public interest, like this one. But as to the nuances, I can't get into the weeds of the particular, because I don't know the law. I haven't looked at the facts. But you agree with the principle that,
of course,
public officials should be held answerable?
Of course, everybody should be held answerable and accountable.
And in that vein, cabinet confidentiality, because that was one of the facets that was relied upon by one of the witnesses. Through a People's Constitution Commission, should we have that removed?
I don't know that you can. I mean, I think, as again, you're catching me cold. I haven't had I haven't had a chance to research or look at any of this, but I would think that cabinet confidentiality must hold universally to cover a wider range of things. I'm not sure that it's a blanket confidentiality, but I haven't researched the matter. I haven't studied it, and I'd have to do that.
Former police officer Elmer Na returns to High Court tomorrow for the continuation of the case management in the matter of the triple Ramnare's murder in Bamapan. He has secured representation from Senior Counsel Godfrey Smith, who also once represented his uncle, Marco Vidal. Today, Smith revealed that they are getting foreign experts to enhance the surveillance footage of the shooting that resulted in the 3 murders.
But certainly the video of the shooter on the premises of the deceased person's shooting will feature prominently. We have retained a highly reputable forensic video and audio forensics firm in Los Angeles to have a look at that, because it holds the answer to who did the shooting, if it can be enhanced. I will say this, that what they have come back to us to say is that, look, the CD that you have may have been distorted. You need to get the video from the original recording source if there's to be a chance of seeing the face of the shooter. And so we've made application for that. They were able to point out on the recording we have that it was obviously adopted not from the original source. It was adopted from the original source, and that we need to get hold of the original source. And we've also made an application to get the contents of Mr. Na's cell phone and other things that are currently in the possession of the police that's as far as unconventionality goes.
But you have to depend on the state to turn over that original, or the police.
They are obliged to do it because that is part of the preparation of our defense. They have to give us access to what we're asking for, with supervision, of course.
You've asked for it already, and
Yes.
they've not given it to you?
I would not say they haven't given it. It's been asked. These things take some time. I expect to get a response in due course.
Justice Rajiv Gundeleke has set December 19th and 20th to hear the substantive challenge to the government's accusation of the 23.4-acre extension. The parties had gone to court prepared today to argue regarding an injunction sought, but the government gave its undertaking that it will hold off on the accusation until the constitutional challenge is settled after December. Senior counsel Godfrey Smith is representing Michael Feinstein, who has title to the extension.
The end goal is vindication that the 23.4 acres standing in his name, which was issued to him by the Minister of Natural Resources, he validly holds title to it, and it is lawfully his. Our instructions, the instructions from our client, is that he does not believe that it is for a legitimate public purpose and for a number of other grounds. And so his position is he intends to challenge that. Without the land being vested in the government, it can't be transferred to MSC or UPSA or State Bank or anybody else. So the outcome of this hearing will determine whether the government can in fact lawfully take Mr. Feinstein's, or constitutionally acquire, compulsorily acquire Mr. Feinstein's 23.4 acres.
Okay, but now I imagine your client must be saying, well, if you can sell to MSC, I can sell to MSC. Of course, there's a receivership in the middle of that. Obviously, there's many layering of matters, but is your client exercised or concerned that there's a plan afoot to sell the project?
Well, he clearly is, otherwise we wouldn't have been instructed to take the actions that we are currently taking to challenge that action every step of the way.
Is your client open to a buyout, to just the government saying, here's a compensation of X million?
There are discussions, or let me put it this way, letters have been exchanged.
But those have not been to anyone's satisfaction.
So far, correspondence issued on behalf of our client have not been answered.
And your client has said it has uncovered some emails that speak to a sale that was planned to MSC.
Yes, I think that's in the public domain. That may very well feature in the cases we have going before the court.
Feinstein is objecting to two documents being admitted into evidence. Those are two letters in which Feinstein put down his request for compensation for the land. The other lawsuit brought by the receiver against Michael Feinstein disputing the ownership of the extension land is to continue next year. The Public Service Union says it is troubled that the government is diminishing the role of the Auditor General, open quote, by treating it like any other ordinary post in the public service, end quote. The release comes following the advertisement of the post, which is now vacant since the start of September when the 2-year contract of the former Auditor General ended. The PSU highlights that the Office of the Auditor General is a constitutionally enshrined position with guaranteed security of tenure. According to the PSU, the salary should be similar to that of a high court judge, given the urgent need to curb corruption in government and cultivate an environment that values accountability, fosters trust, and ensures responsible stewardship of public funds. Based on the advertisement, the proposed salary is between $50,000 and $81,000. A judge's salary is at least over $150,000. The PSU deems this as an attack on good governance and accountability and states that the proposal by the government, open quote, represents the backtracking of yet another commitment made by the Belizean people in its Plan Belize manifesto and portrays the Bureau of this administration's stillborn good governance motion introduced on January 11, 2021, end quote. The union calls on members of the National Assembly to condemn the move, which undermines transparency and promotes corruption. After the break, NTUCB continues to press for accountability regarding public proposed land accusation. Stay with us.
In the
of Belize continues to press the government of Belize for accountability and transparency regarding compulsory land acquisitions for a public purpose. The NTUCB wrote a letter to the Prime Minister some weeks ago regarding the acquisition of the 23.4-acre extension of Stakebank Island. The PM failed to provide some of the details that the NTUCB requested, and the Congress highlights this in a release today and states, open quote, "Perhaps the government prefers the NTUCB to bring a judicial review case against the government or join the ongoing litigation to get the answers it seeks on an issue of public concern," end quote. The NTUCB then reiterates that rescuing a private project is not a public purpose, notwithstanding the project's physical scale, the magnitude of sunken investment, or the granting of tax benefits for a period of 20 years. The Congress informs that it intends to present for the government consideration legislation to amend or repeal the and replace the two pieces of legislation that have to do with land acquisition. It explains that so far in 2024, there had been 7 first notices of compulsory acquisition, and notes that the public is not being made effectively aware of them, and there is no evaluation and report by the government on the outcome and the benefits to Belizeans and how much is paid. The NTUCB says it also intends to submit to the government rules regarding government's use of external legal advisors and best practices or guiding principles for legal advice, including legal opinions. A team of experts from Japan have traveled to Belize to join their counterparts in the Japan International Cooperation Agency to conduct a survey of the proposed replacement of the swing bridge in downtown Belize City. The whole survey process, which could include several different surveys, is scheduled to last a year. It is the first step. After the data has been collected, it needs to then be presented to the Japanese cabinet for approval. Chief Engineer Evandale Moody said that his team in Belize has done a lot of the groundwork already, but admits there is still more that Belize needs to do during this initial stage. Moody also revealed that the swing bridge replacement will not swing.
In terms of the technical aspects, the Ministry of Infrastructure, we have already done some of the groundwork. So the team that is here now will be executing the survey works and some more detailed design and analytics with respect to the bridge structure. We have already given them the general concept of what the government would prefer. We have also looked at the technical specs in respect to its cross-section and the type of construction that we believe would be more conducive to our environment and to the location where it is. So we will also be supporting them in the gathering of additional information. They will also need additional hydraulic information that we will have to gather from the Met Department. There's also some transportation data that will need to be assembled as well in terms of traffic counts and traffic studies. And so the Ministry of Infrastructure will have a full role in the implementation that they will be executing at this point in time. Based on our discussions that we've had with JICA, the idea is not to have the bridge swing anymore because we don't have sufficient vessels going along the Hullover Creek that requires swinging movement of that structure. We also have taken into consideration the fact that the Belchina Bridge does not swing, and the new bridge that we will be building at Belcan will also be a fixed structure, and so there would be no need for the swing bridge to have that swing in motion anymore.
Moody says that even after 1 year survey process and approval from the Japanese government, it could still take many months more before a new bridge to be completed.
Based on the findings of the team here, as my colleague has mentioned, those works will be completed within 1 year, but thereafter, we still have to go through the procurement process to engage a contractor. More than likely, that will be a Japanese contractor because we're getting in the funds from Japan. And so to go through a procurement process takes us about 3 to 4 months for us to do that procurement process. And then thereafter, the construction would start. So that would be an additional 24 months because the bridge would take approximately 24 months. So you're looking at about 30 months from next year for that bridge to be completed. So that would be in 2028, thereabouts. We also have the replacement of the Belcan Bridge in process as well. As a chief engineer, I cannot take out both bridges at the same time. So that will play a very important role on which one comes first. It is anticipated that the Belcan will come first, and if the Belcan comes first, then we will have to delay the implementation of the Belize City Swing Bridge. That's a decision that myself and the Minister and the CEO will have to make. But it is in the interest of the public in Belize City because we only have the other 3 bridges that we will be able to utilize. And if we take out 2 bridges at the same time, it will be chaos in Belize City. So I have indicated the 28 months, but that all depends upon other factors as well. So I think it's important for me to highlight that.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness Epidemiology Unit released statistics earlier this week as part of Caribbean Statistics Day. A set of stats were released surrounding births based on data collected in 2023. Belize had a total of 6,370 live births in 2023, which was the lowest total dating all the way back to 1994. This, however, did not equate to the population decline as many migrate to Belize every year. Of the total births last year, an alarming 14% or 896 babies were born to adolescents between the age of 10 and 19. A slight majority of the babies were males, accounting for 50.3% of live births last year. Also of note is that 1.4% of all births were twins. Cayo had the highest total of births at 1,669, followed by the Belize District, Stan Creek, and Orange Walk. The highest birth rate per 1,000 individual belonged to Stan Creek at 19.4%, and the lowest being the Belize District at 13.2%. The most popular male names chosen last year for newborns were David, Jaden, Jose, Jacob, and Aiden. The most popular female names chosen were Maya, Maria, Anna, Genesis, and Emily. Statistics released by the Epidemiology Unit of the Ministry of Health this week show that there were 206 persons who were newly infected with HIV, which is a slight increase when compared to figures from 2022. However, those numbers have stabilized in recent years and are way below the much higher rates of infections that were seen in the early 2000s. Of the total, 121 were males and 85 were females. Belize District had the highest rate of new infections with a total of 113, followed by Cayo with 33, Stan Creek with 24, Orange Walk with 15, Corozal with 19, and Toledo with 9. 2023. Of those who are HIV positive, 1,766 are on medications called antiretroviral. 78 deaths were recorded as being HIV related. When it comes to testing, 46,775 screenings were done in 2023. Of those, the majority were done by females, outnumbering the males 2 to 1. Yet, it was the males who had a higher rate of testing positive for HIV, 1.5 times more than females. Figures from 2023 released by the Epidemiology Unit in the Ministry of Health earlier this week show that women were more susceptible than men to contracting dengue. Last year, there were 1,688 confirmed and probable cases of dengue reported across the country. Of that total, 55% or 924 were females. The Cayo District at 357 cases recorded the most cases of dengue last year. This was followed by the Corozal, this was followed by Corozal with 350, Orange Walk with 308, Stan Creek with 275, Toledo with 209, and Belize District with 189 cases. The majority of those infected were under 40 years of age. As of October 9th this year, there have been 1,014 confirmed or probable cases of dengue reported. In sporting news, Belize's senior national football team has been promoted to CONCACAF League B and will now compete to qualify for the preliminary round of the 2025 CONCACAF Gold Cup. Belize secured this promotion after a strong display in their recent CONCACAF Nations League C tournament, concluding with a 3-0 victory over Turks and Caicos on Tuesday as the visiting team. Head coach for the team, Charlie Slusher, said his team knows that they are going up against tougher competition and spoke about how they were prepared to continue their current momentum.
Well, it's all about preparation and trying to integrate some new players into the system, into the formation, and to hope that we have enough time to work with them and to prepare so that they can just, contribute something positive and help us to be better, because we know we have to be better. And that is something that we have been working from the past couple of weeks since we started, to try to improve the team slowly but surely, in the sense that, as we go along, we didn't want to, if you notice, we are not doing a lot of, every week we have a whole new set of people now. We're just filling holes and trying to get this team better, and we have a great plan. We have a nice set of guys, I must say, and most of these guys that have been performing will be here. We will now call in at least minimum of 4 international players who we are sure that can come in and help us to achieve this goal with our locals players, for sure.
So what's the message to the team now going into this new league? I mean, how are the guys feeling?
Well, I know they are feeling excited. I know they are confident, and we all know that this, we're gonna, I don't want to say tougher, because every opponent is tough. The one that we played last night and all the one that we played before are tough. So we're not going to view this game no easier, in the sense that I've been reaching out to my players and say, guys, we need to work harder. This is where we want it to be. We did everything to get in this position to play the 6th place team from the League A. Because French Guiana, we'll be playing against French Guiana first in a home and away series, the 14th of November here in Belmopan, and then the 18th we go to French Guiana. But French Guiana is the 6th place team from League A. League A is the highest league in this region, so we know it will be a far tougher game. But I'm very confident with my players, with the right preparation, because that's the most important part.
After the break, Belize had 0 cases of mother-to-child, that is, transmission of HIV in 2023. Stay tuned.
You may not get to see me very often.
All power to the people.
Belize reported 0 cases of mother-to-child transmission of HIV in 2023. Last year, 33 mothers who are HIV positive gave birth to healthy babies, 16 of them newly infected and learning of their statuses thanks to pregnancy screenings. The ministry reminds the general public that HIV testing is conducted free at the public healthcare facilities, which also offer free condoms and lubricants. Antiretroviral treatment is also accessible for free and can lead to a patient becoming undetectable, meaning they would not be able to transmit the virus. Those who are sexually active and engage in risky behavior can also access pre-exposure prophylaxis for free if they meet certain requirements. Infection Control Week is being observed globally this week. In Belize, events were planned to reach out to the public to encourage them to minimize the spread of infections by properly washing hands, using masks, and through other methods. Dr. Victor Smith, the Infection Control Officer at the Corzal Community Hospital, shared how the week is being observed in Corzal.
So on Tuesday, we started with sessions of hand washing at the clinics and here at the NHI polyclinics. So we went to the population and to the patients that were at the clinics and also for the family members that were on the waiting area. And we exposed them about the importance of hand washing and also about other common pathologies like, for example, tuberculosis, HIV, syphilis, etc. Also there at the clinic here at Corzal, we had a booth that they were testing for free HIV, syphilis, right, and hepatitis B. So we are also administering vaccines on Tuesday. Now, on yesterday, we had an activity on the 16th. We had a health fair at the Caledonia Health Center. So I did consultations with the populace and also I was there along with our personnel from the hospital. We had the help from HECOPAP, we had nutritionists, we also had the psychiatrist nurse and other personnel, and we were also having a fair along with them with the infection control measures. For example, we had the school children that came with us, also parents and patients, and we had a session with them about hand washing and also about other more common communicable diseases.
Dr. Smith also explained that there will be a fair on Friday for healthcare personnel and described what is important for even healthcare workers to get a reminder to break the chain of infection.
And this is, for example, the chain of infection. So we're going to talk about how they can break the chain of infection, right? About things that can be done at the hospital setting. And also we have other activities like puzzles, games, and also we have prizes for persons that are participating and answer the that are going to answer the questions, right, correctly. And we also we already have this poster throughout the hospital about hand washing. So we're going to do a refresher on it, right, with the staff here about for them to see if they're doing the adequate techniques and for them to know the importance of hand washing, because technically it is something very easy and very basic that most of us would take for granted, right? But it has been shown that, for example, in the hands, we have approximately 150 types of bacteria. Not only bacteria we can have in the hands, we can have viruses and also fungi. And we can have up to 10,000 to 10 million bacteria in our hands. So if we're seeing patients and we are not proper hand washing ourselves before and after seeing the patient, then we could transmit diseases to other patients that are in hospital, right? So that is one of the aims that we're trying to break, right? The chain of infection. That is why that is why it is called the chain of infection. And it's important the time of hand washing too. Why? Because if we wash our hands only 15 seconds, we're going to eliminate only approximately 80 to 90% of the pathogens in our hands. But if we go and wash our hands for 40 to 60 seconds, then we're going to eliminate approximately 99.9% of the bacteria in our hands.
The third edition of the Sartoneja Seafood Festival takes place this Saturday, starting at 10 a.m. at Almendro Park. Entrance to the park festivities will be free. The festival is a collaboration between the Sartoneja Village Council, the Sartoneja's Women's Group, and Warrior Prods BZ. The organizers promise that this will be the biggest edition of the festival and promise even more entertainment and lots of food. Juan Guerra of Warrior Prods and one of the organizers spoke of what can be expected this Saturday in Sartoneja.
Well, this year, I think we're more organized. I think we're going to have more activities, more events, more presentations. We have the Sartoneja Lyrics Marching Band performing, the CCC Marching Band. We have the Retoños Mexicanos, Raíces Mexicanos, Retoños Beliceños dance group from San Joaquin coming to perform. That's a cultural, I think, mestizo dance group that's going to come and perform. We have more of a more detailed agenda. It's gonna be activities and performances all throughout the day. The festival starts at 10 a.m. We're gonna have school presentations with the Sartoneja schools coming and do their presentations. We're gonna have more activities throughout the day. This time, I think we're doing it a little bit more open. We're inviting all the restaurants, all the people that wanna come and sell seafood. We're gonna have conch fritters, conch ceviche, octopus ceviche, fish panadas. I heard that some of them are bringing their shrimp taco stand. So I think we're gonna have a little bit more variety of seafood this year. Inviting everyone to come and enjoy the seafood festival. This year is gonna be bigger, better. We're gonna have more seafood, more activities, more stuff for you guys to enjoy, and I hope you guys come and enjoy yourself this year.
Guerra said that getting to Sartoneja will be easy and provided options by road and sea. However, if you rather stay and get the entire experience, there are also options for lodging. Or if you prefer to party at all night, there will be a special dance beginning at 9 p.m. and ending at 2 a.m. Entrance for the dance will only be $10.
For transportation, we have the water taxis, we have the Thunderbolt, and we have the Belize Sea Shuttle from San Pedro to Sartoneja and from Corozal to Sartoneja. We also have the iconic Sartoneja bus line blue buses that park over at the bridge by Belize City, and we have the Belize City buses. They I think the first bus leaves Belize City at 10 a.m. and then I think the last bus leaves Belize City at 6, if I'm not mistaken. And we have one run that goes to Corozal town. It arrives at Corozal at 7:30 a.m. and leaves Corozal town at 3:30 p.m. Just one run from Corozal to Sartoneja. We have a few accommodations. We have the homestay program. We have Backpackers Paradise, now recently known as Horse Cottage, the Sartoneja Inn, a few guest houses, Sunset Guest House, Myra's Guest House. We have quite a few guest houses. I don't know all of them by name, but we have a few guest houses available here too. So we're gonna have the Youth Connection Band, and we're gonna have a dance starting from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
And the children of Sartoneja are being invited to a spooky Halloween party on October 31st from 4 to 6 p.m. Organizers are promising many treats and fun tricks for the children to enjoy. The party will be free and will be hosted by Isadora Restaurant and Lounge and organized by Juan Guerra of Warrior Prods. Guerra spoke of what kids can look forward to.
This year, we're not having the trick or treat as we did last year, but we are having we're hosting Halloween Kids Party over at Isadora Restaurant and Lounge. It's a recently established lounge here in Sartoneja, just open for the week the week before Easter, it opened its door, and well, me being part of Warrior Productions, and then we right now working at Isadora Restaurant and Lounge, me and the owner were decided to host this Halloween kids party this year. Yeah, it's gonna be from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. We're gonna have treats, games, activities, and a lot of I think giveaways or presents for the kids attending this year.
And it's free to get in?
No, it's completely free. It's for the kids from Sarteneja. Inviting all the kids from Sarteneja to go in to have fun, clean fun from 4 to 6. We're gonna have kids music playing, sweets, piñatas, cupcakes, presents, and giveaways for the kids that will be attending this year.
And with that, we have come to the end of our newscast. A repeat can be viewed on this station later tonight at 9 and again tomorrow at midday. Join us again tomorrow for another news broadcast. I am MarKeisha Young. Have a safe and enjoyable evening.